What's poppin' people, SSJAipom here with episode 7 of the Super Attack Analysis series. If you're new to the series, this is where we check out various mentor skills or iconic super attacks from Parallel Quest. These aren't skill tests or comparisons of skills, but if you'd like to see how they do against each other, check out the homie Super Saiyan Cabby 28 skill test playlist. Without further ado, let's get into the video. As always, we'll be using the juicy female Saiyan Poton for testing purposes. Her stats aren't at all padded for damage in these tests, so note that this series is to show you guys useful ways to link into or use your unlocked super attacks if they're on your custom character or even on cast characters that might have them. In this video, we're checking out the skills from one half of the iconic tag team, Android 17. Even though Android 17 isn't a mentor, I figured it would be right to, it just wouldn't be right to leave his sister up here by herself and then not do him. But his moves are all very interesting, so we'll be looking at Side Bridge, Flash Bomber, Thunder Eraser, Freedom Kick, Super Electric Strike, and as a bonus we'll be checking out his half of the iconic combo, the Dead End Bullet. Side Bridge is a fail-safe area denial skill, much like Power Blitz from Android 18. When you throw the blast, it'll pass through the target and travel for a little before correcting itself slightly and coming back towards the target's back. This attack isn't like Spirit Bomb, so it can actually crash into scenery or the ground and it will still return towards you. You should note that this blast will travel a medium range before returning back to you, meaning it isn't advised to use it after a knockback. Side Bridge seems to have two behaviors. If you hit an opponent while they're attacking you or in a neutral state, they'll do a regular flinch animation with enough hit stun to at least free you from a combo, without you having to snap vanish. Strangely enough, your opponent might actually be able to snap vanish after the regular hit stun animation. So that's a thing. It's a key blast though, so whatever. If you hit a helpless opponent, meaning they're stamina broken or in a knockback animation or something, the attack will actually spike them down towards the floor very, very quickly. This is not a knockdown though, meaning that you'll have to plan your follow-ups and stuff accordingly. This attack deals more damage if you manage to use it after slipping behind the opponent's back. But this may be true for all super attacks because I haven't tested it yet, but I'll let you guys know in the next video. Overall, it's a decent area denial skill, and I'll actually use it to save myself from being overwhelmed whenever I'm playing around on Android 17. If your opponent doesn't tense up or at least move while this attack is flying around, it'll always save you before you have to snap vanish out of their combo, so relax after you throw it and just hope for the best. Flash Bomber is actually technically a Super 17 skill, but I figured I wouldn't have much of a chance to cover it otherwise. The advanced mechanic on this attack is that you can hold the button down to keep the attack going. The hit stun on this attack is decent enough for you to drop it and move in on your opponent with combos. There are a few things you should note. This attack will reset your opponent into a standing position if they are in a helpless state, meaning they won't be getting bonus stamina recovery while being hit. That's an automatic plus for this thing as a combo extension for sure. Also, since it's a key super attack, your opponent's snap vanish will be locked up if you use it to extend combos. This lockup usually happens after the Flash Bomber hits the opponent at least twice, and since it seems to end the snap vanish window for any melee combo you're doing, that's a good option. It hits twice very quickly, so you shouldn't have a problem with locking up the snap vanishes at all. And this is a fairly overlooked skill, and I'd say it works fairly well for Super 17 on the cast too. I would not recommend using it in a cheap way, just because you probably will get some hate mail or something like that, but if you don't mind it, then go gum into this thing to be an ass. Freedom Kick is a move returning from Xenoverse 1, and it's decent when used without being able to be blocked. This attack covers a lot of distance between you and a faraway target, so it can ideally be used after a knockback. Depending on the angle you use it from, you'll be able to hit through the opponent's guard as well. I will say that this part of the move is very inconsistent though, so avoid using it altogether on a blocking target. Once the move starts, you can't cancel it, so if your opponent perfect blocks you 4 times, you lost 4 bars of stamina for literally no gain. The final kick of this attack does do a pretty good heavy knockdown that can probably chain right into ×4 Kaioken Kamehameha or something just as fast if you're close to the floor when you use it. I recommend using this attack after a stamina break and knocking your opponent away. The final part of the attack will set you up to go into some super attacks immediately, and your opponent will be down on the floor for a bit. Using this move at any other time seems to be very risky, but for utility you can probably use it to close in on your enemy from far away. It's okay. It's okay. Thunder Eraser is another Super 17 skill that blinds the target if you hit them in the face when they're not in the helpless state. This attack will travel decently far to try and make contact, and unlike Senko Ki Blast, it will be able to be blocked. You should note that this attack has 2 damage tiers. When you use this attack on an enemy and the blind property goes through, it will deal lower damage. Using it at any other time will turn the attack into a soft knockback and deal around twice as much damage without the blind going through. This makes it a decent combo extension, especially after bounce combos, and if you manage to get the blind off, you can probably force your opponent to snap vanish more often than not, since they're going to be panicking because they can't see. Or you can just stamina break them while they're blind, so yeah, it's a pretty good move overall. Super Electric Strike is a move from the previous game that covers a very wide range. I actually named this thing the Green Rasen Shuriken, if you follow Naruto. This attack will hit and shred an opponent for a while before passing through them and fading away. This attack does very respectable damage and can even pass through some parts of the map to hit your target, but it does have some flaws. Don't use this attack when you're too close to your opponent, for example, because we'll actually start up behind them and do no damage. This move would have been sick if it was unblockable, but that probably would have broken it, so probably a good part on, like, or a good calling on Dimps' part, I should say. Just be a decent distance from your target before using it, and you'll get all the damage you need out of it. I'd probably stick to using this one after a heavy stamina break or heavy knockdown, just because of how long it takes the move to start up, and you don't want to be left wide open. This attack is probably really good for team battles, especially if the enemy team is all in one spot, because it covers so much of a wide area around its victim, and the damage is pretty good. You can probably knock out a team of players if they get too sloppy and like their health gets too low, so it's always a good option in like tag team stuff, especially because it hits so far. Yes. All I can say about this skill is yes. Dead End Bullet is the second half of the iconic Dead End combo that the androids used to kill future Gohan. This attack is much harder to hit than the Dead End Rain version, but to compensate, it pretty much outdamages it flat out. You'll want to heavy stamina break the opponent or have them laying down directly beneath your character model before using this attack, and to be sure that all the bullets fall directly onto them. This move holds your opponent in place so that the other Dead End attack can land on them in tag team matches as well. On average, if you land all of the bullets from this attack, it'll deal about 2,000 more damage than Dead End Rain, give or take, at least with these base stats. I'm scared to see what it would do with 125 points in Ki Blast Supers, but it is so satisfying, guys. I love this move. I love Dead End Bullet, Dead End Rain, both. But that, of course, is going to wrap up the breakdown portion of the video, meaning that the combat test portion is coming up next. The Dead End moves are some of my favorites visually, so I had to be sure to use it at least once in this test. I get a very early Flash Bomber punish in that does a very sizable chunk of damage without even needing to be extended. And Dead End Bullet makes very short work of the fight, so I didn't need to use the other skills much. But you can actually see Android 17 use the side bridge to shut my momentum down a few times in the fight. All in all, you'll want to find skills that work for your playstyle on the character you're building or on the preset of the character that you're trying out. I actually never thought to use Freedom Kick after a stamina break when I used Android 17 before, so I'll probably be adding that to my game when I'm like randomly using it online. And if you haven't, check out the combo references and stamina break combos on the channel, or for my insight on characters or some pointers to bring to online PvP or PvE missions if that's what you play. And I hope that these skill analysis videos inspire you guys to try out new things, or check out moves that you overlooked for your custom created characters, or even extensions using them on the cast. The next video might cover the Android 16 mentor skills from the free DLC, so if you're looking forward to that, it's probably coming tomorrow, or yeah. Are there any skills you guys want me to break down like this for you in the future? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll be seeing you all in the next video. For once, we're going to keep it classy like the last video and end it without Potan awkwardly twerking next to Android 8. Return of the twerk is happening. It's coming in the next video probably. More than likely. It's happening. See you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves.
Androids are the strongest beings ever.